Hello, everybody, and welcome back to KF&JF podcast. This is Keith. I know you know who I am, but just in case you didn't, I really want to thank you guys for coming on today and taking a look at our guest today. She has a lot of great information, and she's so talented. And I'm looking forward to checking out all of her work and how did she get to the place that she is today. But as I've said before many times, I want to thank you guys for coming out to the podcast, taking a look at all of the different shows and people we've had come on. Entrepreneurial work is risky, and everybody that does it is actually out there promoting themselves to try to do better and make their lives more successful. And so we do appreciate them coming on to the podcast. And also thanking you for going to the Joy Be Love website and making those purchases that help us to be able to continue the show and bring it to you as well. So looking forward to all of that. So again, let's get on with Razak, who's our co-host here, and let's see what he has to say and introducing himself today.
Hmm. Greetings. My name is Razak. I am the CEO and founder of United Minority Business Ventures. My purpose is to help small businesses grow. This means I will assist with the creative process and maintenance of your business. The method to achieve results is simply building a deeper relationship with your customers. I do this by forming opportunities to communicate and collaborate with your followers, subscribers, and other business owners. By using a wide range of networking tools, we will have an understanding for building your business profile, what type of social media marketing fits your productivity and availability, and then what is going to be your marketing strategy. Building your financial profile, branding your service, your product, or merchandise. Together, we may also determine what type of licenses is needed to operate your business. And does your budget permit the ownership of your domain or buying into pre-existing sites that host your page? And I like to drive traffic. And this means managing your website. And this allows me to work with you to select posts that create subscriptions, comments, and likes. I also assist by generating comments on other individual business sites or pages that create a dialogue of conversation directed towards your page. And I also like to assist with the creation of the content on your media site. This will be a collaboration of ideas which will reflect on your brand, your work ethics, and the community's need to know what you have to offer them to bring a better quality of comfort to their lives and lifestyle. I can also assist with writing content, directing your videos, the editing process, and publishing them on various sites for marketing purposes, advertisement, and promotional value. I'd like to thank you for coming on the podcast today.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, sir. I think, you know, we all want to thank Razak for all of the things that he's been doing out there to get these companies uplifted and driving toward what they want to do as far as in their business to succeed. So we're looking forward and thank him so much. But our guest here today, we want to make sure that she's able to tell us all about her. So let her introduce herself to you guys.
Hi, I am Rachel Chapman, the owner of Something Special by Rachel. We are a wood laser company that does home decor and gifts that will help you to find that something special that you're looking for.
Well, I know somebody that's doing something special for somebody else has got a lot more special smiles than that one right there. But we're going to make sure we get it out of her, ladies and gentlemen, because I know she's nervous. This is one of those things that we just, got to work through. And I'm going to start by asking this question right now. What is unique about you, Rachel? Talk to us about something, not many people know about you.
Hmm. I am a differently abled, Black-owned, woman-owned business. And I take joy. I think my purpose is providing joy through design.
Mm-hmm.
Well, anyone that starts with the, something special, it's got to be willing to be, someone that's providing joy for someone, because every time you think of something, you're probably, in your mind, how can I make you be joyful and happy about whatever it is that your day is about, and try to enhance it. So I really am excited about this interview that we're going to have with you moving forward. So tell us, how did you come up with the name, and what was the reason behind the name?
I think that no matter how many degrees you have or where you come from, when you are looking for that special gift for someone or even for your own home, you tend to revert back to something rather than something. And so we're all looking for something special.
Yes, we are.
You're right. You're right. We're always looking for something special in everything that we do. But, sometimes when we're thinking about something special, we be talking about a new car. We be talking about, some new furniture. We be talking about everything to do with crafts. How do you, when you do special things like the craft that you do, how do you get the customers, and what are some of the things that people coming to you about that really kind of shocks you?
I don't think I've been shocked yet. But when I do fairs and markets, I try to present things that will make people say, and show some appreciation for the craftsmanship.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Have you been doing it for a while? Is this something you just picked up, or is it something that has been in your wheelhouse for a while and now you've just turned it into a business?
I believe that I've always been artistic. I mean, ever since childhood. So I've dabbled in different things, drawing, painting, photography, and things like that. As I got older and working at various jobs, I think that I lost some of that creativity. And with COVID and retirement, I figured that this was the greatest time to come back to that and get involved. So I purchased a laser and been going ever since.
That's right.
It's amazing how, we've had this podcast for a while now, and a lot of different people have talked about COVID, right? And COVID if COVID was one of those things that we knew were going to uplift the Black community and taking their talents and all of their, things they've been holding back and bring it out in the business, we should have done it a long time ago. But I know people did lose their lives in that, so we want to make sure we understand the fact that it was not all a good thing. But a lot of people were able to, start their business and do so much through COVID. And you, like you said, being retired, allow you also to have the time to put all that together. So what's the defining moment as far as how you came together with all that? Besides it being COVID, what was something else that defined that you can make it into a business?
I think I'm still trying to discover that, but it's just the recognition that people like what I do.
Okay.
Well,
They love it.
Everybody's gotta like what you do. Seeing some of the pictures that you have shown us, and we're definitely going to make sure our audience and listeners are able to see that as well and hear about that. But it's all special. It's all such detailed work, and also just the imagery that comes out of your work is so it's like the butterflies and different things. It speaks to you when you look at it. So tell us a little bit about how you came about with some of these images. Is some of it through historical parts, or some of it through just stuff that you've seen that you wanted to put forth, or was it some part of this is just you just was discovering?
I think it's a combination of things. Um, I I am able to trace my family history back to slavery. So I've always had an interest in African culture, and I have tried to depict some of that in my work. Um, but I also think that there are, I see something that I want to try to make and add my own take on it. But it's also, people ask for certain things. And so I try to come up with what it is that they're asking for.
Yeah,
That's
that'll do it. That'll do
that's a
it.
powerful thing too, because that just tells me how special you are, where you could take someone else's ideal about something, someone else's hope, and then turn it into something. That is definitely a very, very special gift. I'm going to pass it over to Razak so he can ask you some questions as well.
Okay, okay. Um, okay, so with you having this wood lasering thing, what activities or hobbies outside of doing the woodwork bring you the most joy and fulfillment?
Family, travel, um, yeah, just trying to maintain life.
Maintain life. Yeah, that about does it. And we know that some of your creations were inspired through family members and stuff. When you first started, was it also like that inspiration through family members, or what was going through in Family Matters?
I believe that when I first started, I was mainly doing gifts for family members and friends. And so, yes, I try to come up with things that they might need rather than having things that just sit or that eventually would end up in the closet.
Right, right. I know that's right. Um, what is one of the most challenging situations you have faced doing your business, and how did you navigate through it?
Hmm. One of the biggest challenges, I believe, is that people do not recognize all the time and effort that goes into a product. Um, you know, I can get this at Walmart, or I can order that online. Um, and so it just makes it difficult to want to continue to do good work. I also have a disability. So my mobility is limited in some ways. So I can't get out there and be in front of people the way that others might be able to do.
Okay, okay. So it takes a little bit more effort for you to actually get out and go to these vending events and showcase your work personally.
Correct.
Does so when you're going to the shows, or as you are displaying do you have family members help you, or is there a team that you work with?
Um, my team is my husband, and he has been my number one supporter for all the years that we've been married. So he does a lot of my grunt work.
Okay, okay. So um, Yeah, that's always good. We'd like to see couples that support each other in business and in life adventures and also tragedies or um, difficulties that they have going through that. Let me ask you this: who are the individuals that you look up to as role models, and how have they influenced your values or mindset today?
That is a hard question. I'm not sure that I have role models in the woodworking area.
Hmm.
There are some designers that I do like their work and possibly will purchase their files and things like that. But I think that in life, I look to people like Maya Angelou. Um, I have a strong faith. I believe that um, God is more interested in your character than your comfort,
Mm.
and so we need to step out there and build our confidence to do things. I also like Robin Roberts from Good Morning America, who always says that you need to make your message and carry on.
Carry on, keep going, just keep pushing forward. Let me ask you. Okay, so you said that you always was into artistry, but what I'm wondering is with all the different things that involve art, why was it specifically laser woodwork that you chose to do your artistry in? Is there something behind that choosing woodwork and lasers?
Um, I hmm, I'm not really sure. And I saw an advertisement for a laser, um, and it intrigued me, and so that was just my next step. I like being able to make things that are basically 3D rather than flat something. So that's where the laser comes in.
Oh, okay, okay. It was it okay when I think I was thinking about this earlier. When it comes to the laser work and doing your artwork, how does the technology of today help or be a disadvantage for you?
Um, the technology, I think, makes things possible that didn't used to be possible. Um, as we talked about the one piece that has like 7 layers to it. Um, you couldn't do that without a machine. You couldn't cut those layers with a handsaw.
Right. So yeah, well, I was asking you about like how we I asked you earlier about the AI stuff, and because sometimes I be thinking the creativity that people have are being uh, like dumbed down or something like that. Like when it comes to creative, and you had said that you have to tell it to what to do, but in the sense of creation, does your arts come from a specific inspiration, and then you tell it to do? Does it, or does the machine kind of like just go off what you say, and it creates its own thing?
Um, the image needs to be created on the computer, and then you send that to the laser. Does that
Okay,
make sense?
but yeah, well, because I was just thinking, because some of your creations look, I mean, I don't I've seen somebody who uses like more of an elaborate, design with the AI thing and with the technology that they have today, but yours is more like you're actually drawing these things. I guess that's what I'm asking. Are you actually drawing and putting the measurements in, or do you just type it in and then it goes from there? As far as the images and stuff.
Some things are drawn. Some things are files that you can get off of the internet, but you still have to put in the information. The AI, when I use AI, it is to help with the description. But again, I have to put in keywords in order for it to come up with that description.
Okay. Because I don't know, I guess maybe I'm just behind the times, or maybe I don't want to accept it or something. But when I draw, I still just use a pencil and paper, and maybe it's because I haven't. Well, I know when we was doing shirts and stuff like that, we had to go through the guy and they put it on there. It's probably something different that I probably just haven't explored myself. But let me ask you: are there specific daily habits or routines that you believe contribute to your productivity and well-being?
Daily habits, getting up in the morning. I with the chronic illness that I have, many people cannot get up. So I give thanks that I am able to get up. If I can get up, I can be productive.
Okay. And well, can I ask how long have you had the mobility problem? And this is with the business. So you said you had started and then you stopped and then you came back to it. So is that stopping period the point where you had the accident or the illness struck?
I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis 20 years ago.
20 years. Okay.
My mobility challenges are basically with my leg, that I walk with a cane. It makes it difficult sometimes to stand up or sit down. So that really doesn't play a big part in my productivity. What it did play a part in is, as I progressed, how society tends to push people with disabilities or are differently abled aside. They don't think that we can do the same things that other people can do. And so I felt challenged, to make sure that I was still able to do things. I just may do things differently than what you do.
Right. That's a good way to look at it. And I wanted to ask you too, when you were saying that, as being a Black businesswoman, a person of color in the Black community, minority community, has there been challenges as far as like how you got your business together and how you're marketing and advertising your business when you came out with your business?
Again, I think the majority of my customers are of European descent. I'm not sure if there is something to the fact that people of African descent are not my key customers. I'm just not sure.
Okay, well, I would say that, a lot of people, when they get into cultural art or something like that, or even just saying that you're a Black female who's doing laser art, I think a lot of things are being drawn into like, okay, we're in the Black community, but we're so focused on representation, of the Black community that we forget that there's outside aspects to life that doesn't have any color to it. I'm looking at a lot of your stuff right here, and not all of it, I mean, you got some your African work and stuff, but some of it is just some things that you like to do, and like you say, some things that you wanted people to be used. It's useful things. It doesn't necessarily have a cultural theme to it, I guess I should say. You know, just like we always associate with everything that we do. It has to be labeled as being black. You know what I mean? Like you have the dragonflies and the hummingbirds. That's not a black thing. It's not a minority thing. It's what I mean, it's just a creation that God what I mean, created, and you like it, so you're doing different aspects to that when you're doing your stuff. So I think a lot of that stuff is when people, start to put some kind of stigma on what we're able to create and why there isn't. Because we had asked another gentleman about, that too, and sometimes maybe they just they don't feel that they're being inspired. You know what I mean? So it's in, like, a lot of people that have like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and stuff like that, or you might have the put your hands up or something, what I mean, to stop the violence and stuff like that, the Black Lives Movement type of scenarios. And then you have people who just like, I'm going through life, I like this, what I mean? It doesn't have nothing to do with no marching, no protesting, nothing. It's just something I like, and I think people are going to like this, and I think that could be also a reason by why they have a lack of understanding and a lack of support for Black businesses in the Black community. I mean, and this is just me going through my experience of seeing what's going on and hearing you guys as vendors speak on who the customers are.
Okay.
And so with that, is there okay? So with all that, would you say that there was some item? Do you have like a bucket list of things that you want to accomplish in goals in business or goals in life that you have listed in order that you're knocking down right now?
Well, let's go back to your statement. I tend to make things that I like.
Mm-hmm.
And if they sell, great. If they don't, that's okay too. You mentioned the dragonfly.
Yes.
The dragonfly is in my logo, and I equate the dragonfly to Black women. Dragonflies come in all shades. They are often overlooked. And if you watch them, they flit from one place to another because there's always work to be done. And that is why I like dragonflies. Because again, I think that to me, it reminds me of the work that Black women have to do. And as for things on I'm not sure I have a bucket list. I have a life list that my goal is to one day be able to use my business to help others, especially kids. Kids that are in the system for one reason or another that oftentimes get overlooked. That would be my goal, is to be able to financially reach that point, that I can help others.
Okay. When it comes to life lessons, can you reflect on a mistake or a challenge or a failure that taught you something valuable about yourself?
I was a paralegal for a number of years, and working for attorneys of European descent helped me to understand that I do not need to put my faith, my future into believing everything that is said, because they don't necessarily have my future and other futures in the forefront.
Okay. Keith, I think you had that
Well,
kind of employment too for, yeah.
yeah, I was in the works of studying to be a paralegal as well, and I'm in the works because my job is I want to become an attorney. So I've, kind of been getting my certificates in different areas of paralegal work, from criminal law to real estate law to, some of the other laws that are out there, trying to understand. But I have some questions. I think, one, I want to bring it a little. I want to bring the seriousness to it, but I also want you to be able to be happy about the discussion as well. And one of the things I want to start off with is you talked about Black women and a couple of the Black women that you aspire to and have learned something from. And when you're talking about Robert Robinson or Good Morning America, or Maya Angelou, and the things that those women, one is such a powerful person in giving us understanding of how we see ourselves, right? With Maya Angelou. And then Robert Robinson is telling us, telling the women to also, go after what you see in your dream. Don't let nobody stop you from doing that. And so I'd like you to talk a little bit about how not only these two women inspire you, but how do you see the Black woman? What are some of the things about Black women, struggle, and some of the things that you can say to them to help them, give them some hope?
Hope. You can do all things through Christ. I believe I mentioned that I have a strong faith. And through things that have impacted my life, such as my chronic illness, I have learned that there's always hope. I believe that there is no one stronger than the Black woman. We have been through so much. We do so much. We have to shift, changing from, this job to that job to everything else all in one day, trying to placate, people, trying to help others. And so we just need to remember the strength within.
Well, I know that that's one of the things that, as a Black man, that sometimes, to be honest, have been taken for granted by us. We know that our women is strong, but then we think that we are stronger in some way. And I know through my experience, I lost my wife about 3.5 years ago. And I know through my experience that she was a strong woman, and she didn't need me for everything. She could do things on her own, even when I thought that I was like, oh baby, I need, you need to go to the if you're gonna go to the auto parts store, make sure they don't gyp you, make sure you get 3 estimates. And she told me, this is the story that she told me. She said, babe, I've been with you 30 years. You think I don't know that already? You think I don't know that I'm not gonna let them gyp me? And it was just like one of those slap to my face, that I thought I had the answer. And I've learned, as a man, that our women are so strong. They way ahead of us, and a lot of different things that they do. And not only that, what they take on for us and don't say anything and hold that in, and not really address the thing that they may want to tell you, that they tell you, man, you're going the wrong way. I know you're going the wrong way. So let me ask you, by just saying that, how do you deal with the mental health part? Because mentally, we have all these things that are going on, but as a black woman, we don't talk. The black men don't talk about mental health. But how do you deal with all of that in the business and with your disability, and understanding the struggles that constantly happen for the black woman, not only in all of these different areas, but just in the regular day?
Again, I rely on my faith and prayer. I have a spiritual director that I can talk to, another black woman, that we can talk about, anything that goes on in the day. I firmly believe in strong communication with my spouse. He's my best friend, and he knows what I deal with daily. And it will be 48 years that we've been together. So I expect him to listen and to be there, and to not try to tell me what I need.
Well, I know there's not going to be belittling in your household. I was married 32 years, but 48 years, there is no belittling. There will be none of that. Nobody's going to be saying, talking down to you in any way. And I do appreciate you talking about that relationship and the importance of that partnership, right? Because you said something that I think a lot of people that that are getting married or working through problems, they forget one big part. The reason you got with that person, because he was your friend. He was somebody you knew that you could talk to. You knew that you guys could communicate and have this conversation, have this dialogue, and that has to stay within the marriage, so that like they say, when you lay your head down, you never have to lay your head down mad about anything. So that is such a powerful thing. Not only you can put out there for the young women that are out there trying to do that, but talk a little bit about how what you can say to our youth, because they are missing a lot in not only the relationship part, but just the understanding of just taking on marriage, just taking on that responsibility and sharing. So because the world is everything's so fast, and then now they got AI, so you may not even need a man anymore. So just talk a little bit about that, and see, and let us know, and talk to our audience about that, if you don't mind.
I think before we talk to the young people, we have to talk to the older generations. We have a responsibility to help our young people to be all that they can be. And I believe that starts at home. And people have to be honest, with each other, but also with the young people, that that sadly, this is the way life is. We have to be twice as good and 5 times as prepared to make the same way that some other culture may have to. And with that, you have to have the confidence within yourself. And I don't mean, cockiness or whatever, but belief in that you deserve to be in a good relationship, that you deserve to be at the best schools, that you deserve to be, happy. And part of that is taking care of your mental health and knowing when you need help, knowing that, there are people out there, and don't be afraid to ask for help. We can do all things. We just need to try.
That's a good advice to everyone that's out there. I wanted to touch on the point a little bit, but when we spoke earlier, we talked about shyness, right? And coming onto the camera and all of that things. But I don't really think you have a shyness, because you are so well spoken, and the information that you have to give to our audience and everything. Can you talk a little bit about how maybe being the front person, for your business, and going to these vending events and having to be that front person, how you deal with shyness, or have shyness been a factor in your life, growing up, or is it different for you in different places?
It is different in different places. I believe that I have not always had a lot of confidence. The settings that, I grew up in, a predominantly white environment. But again, I can look back at my ancestors, and my grandfather was the oldest of 10 children. All of them went to college or trade school. All of them started their own business at one time or another. My father also did that. And so when I look at them, I have to stand up and be ready to, step forward and be that person. I also, do a lot of advocacy work. Standing up for those, speaking out for those that may not be able to speak out for themselves in different areas. And I think that kind of gives me some confidence, but also some hope that I can be in any situation and step up.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's something, when you talk about legacy, when you talk about history and all that, it's so right on in our house, because my sister's got the tree, and she's going to ancestry. She even gave all kind of, samples. And I mean, she's done everything. We spent till 2:00 in the morning one time just going over all these different people. And our street is, I lived in Louisiana. And I found out my dad's people were slave owners, and I had to apologize to everybody. I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't know that my name come from slave owners. I didn't have nothing to do with that." But it's like once you go through your history, you find all of the cousin different people in there. It's man, it's so powerful. And my sister is up all the time with that. So I like to ask you this, and I'm gonna pass it over to Razak, and it just has to do with legacy, right? So how do you see that in your life? What are you working toward, or do you think that it's not something that's necessary? But when you're talking about history, legacy is important to pass on.
History is definitely important to pass on. What is it? I think there's a saying that you don't know where you're going if you don't know where you've been. And I think that is crucial. To my grandchildren call me Oma, which in one of the African languages means the keeper of the family history. I think that it is crucial to pass on what has been passed on to me. And I have 3 children. One of my daughters is like your sister, that is constantly on Ancestry, searching, for all the different legs of the family, maternal and paternal, and learning. And we are trying to raise our children and children's children with that same method.
Hmm.
Woo, I think I'm going to pass that on to Razak at that point. I think you're solid, because when you're talking about when you're talking about that history, it's just so powerful. So I'm going to pass it on to Razak to have him ask you a few more questions. Thank you for everything you do. I'm proud of you because you're keeping up that smile here and there. You got it.
You're pushing it.
Yeah, I'm pushing it. Well, that's my job. My job is to push it. Make it, yeah. Okay, go ahead, Razak.
My brother had did that, and I need to actually call him up and ask him what I think he did the ancestry.com thing or something like that. And I need to push him for the information. What was the results of that? Because there was another gentleman that we had a little while ago, and we had called him up on a follow-up question, and he said that he had found some relatives. I think it was a sister or something like that, or that he didn't know he had. And I already know that there's a lot of family, we haven't met, but, I just want to know, I already know that we're mixed, coming through the generations, but, what is it exactly, and what lineage of other families do we connect to that we don't know? I think that's important. And even my kids, because, I always tell them, like, okay, especially when you have a mixed, okay, we're black, we're say the gene of being black is a dominant gene, so you're looking more black than the other ethnicities that you're mixed with, but that doesn't mean to put those ethnicities aside. That's still a culture or a heritage that we should be digging off into. So I like the thought of doing that, to finding out. I probably need to take it myself, because I don't know what he's doing. For some reason, he didn't say nothing. He went and did it, but you find out something, you're like, okay, well, yeah, I want to go share it with everybody, but he didn't do that. So I'm like, okay, well, what did you find out? Like, I want to go. Who are we related to? That Something Special by Rachel. Mm-hmm. Okay.
So you scroll, and
oh man, you putting in work.
Oh my goodness, look how beautiful
I didn't go to this page. I don't know what page I was seeing. Let me see.
So
come on, Rachel, this is proud work. You should be wanting to tell the world about this.
So stop at the owl. I think I like the owl. It's one of my favorites. Okay. So then if you go back to shop, and there's just all kinds of things. The African women that I talked about were at the top. Right there. There's a double. There's both of them in one picture. So there's a one. There you go.
Oh wow! Come on.
Now, come on, Rich. How did you do this?
It's several layers of wood, hand painted. I don't know what else to say. But I just sent a pair of them off today to somebody in Chicago.
Oh man. So okay, so you seen the image, or is this just out of your brain?
I'm looking at the image.
Okay.
Yeah. So
no, it looks pretty good. And these are little ridges or something like that. That's space in between right there. That's like empty space.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, it's a layer of colors. So one of them is like 6 layers and the other one is 7 or 8 layers. And so each layer is a different color. And so when you stack them on top of each other, you get what you see.
Because I know you was stacking right here because I know there's a lot going on right here. And so you're a laser printer. So is the laser doing each one of these individually, or did you have to type it in and tell it, right? Or do you show it the picture or
Yeah, no, you have to put it in.
each one? So each one of these was like a different step you had to take.
Yes.
Mm. Ooh, that's some work right there. That is some work. What
Mancala.
game? Mancala game? Oh, well, let me push this. Okay.
So it's an African game, I believe.
Strategy game? An ancient strategy game. Hmm. Yeah,
That's
okay.
good.
So
I like that.
does your work, or at least some of these, are inspired through an African heritage, or
Yes and no. I can trace my father's side back to slavery in North Carolina. So I've always had an interest in African art. So that's what it is. Those are key ring holders that hang on your wall.
yeah? See, I think we had another person that did some kind of laser woodwork like earlier when we started doing the podcast, but this is way more intricate than what we've seen the other guy. The other guy, he just kind of just had it burned it into it. It just burned into it. But you're doing lasers. I like that right there. I like that.
Yeah,
I
it
like
says butterfly, but it should say dragonfly.
dragonfly.
Oh,
I like how you're giving us this description on the side too.
yeah, that's called AI.
Oh, the AI did it. So you believe in that the help or the assistance of using the AI products? Because sometimes I be thinking it's kind of keeping us from thinking of ourselves. You know what I mean? Like it kind of like, well, the best word is I can say is like it kind of dumbs you down because now you don't have to really think about a lot of stuff. It does the thinking for you.
Well, but you have to give it some key points,
Right.
and so you have to put stuff in there to make it write what it writes.
Yeah. To make it what you want it to be,
Right.
So
Yeah.
it's expressive of what you're thinking.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, what image or what was you looking at when you created this?
The hummingbird in the center. I like
Mhm.
hummingbirds and dragonflies. I think, as you could see from my other work,
Mhm.
the black and white. Yeah. So
What is this? What is this pattern called? Is it called anything?
um, a scroll pattern.
Stroke pattern.
Yeah. And it's
Mm.
probably, I think there it says 12 inches, but it's actually probably like 16 or 18 inches in size. It's a wall hanging, which
Have you ever?
Mhm.
Yes.
I was going to say, which I try to not do a lot of things that sit around and collect dust.
Right.
And so I try to do things like my cell phone holders that are in there, boxes, things that are useful. The circle with Jonathan, that's for my youngest grandchild and his nursery when he was born.
Mm.
So I'm very proud of that one. So
Yeah,
it
those are special.
hangs in his room right now.
Okay.
And I do
Okay.
nursery signs. I do wedding. I'll call them gift books, but they're not really books. They're a big a big circle like that. The guests can sign up there. See Jessica and JD. So, at the reception, guests sign it, and you have something you can hang on your wall, rather than just a book that gets put away.
Right. And it captures the memories of that day on it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Oh man, you got a lot of stuff. I'm really thinking of the designs. I mean, that's really my biggest thing is like where are you getting these? Okay, so now is this another like image that you made and made into the wood, or do you actually just look at it and you say I'm going to throw my own little flair into it also?
Yeah, that is a file that somebody else made, and I just used added my own touches to it. I think that there were some Post-it note holders that I've done in the Kenta pattern, which I can purchase wood that is in different patterns. I have a vendor that will make whatever I'm asking. Further up at the top, there are some Kwanzaa ornaments that are for the 7 days of Kwanzaa. Keep going, right? Okay, stop, Bert, right beside the Mancala. Yep, right there.
Okay.
So that's the 7 days of Kwanzaa. I'm not sure what else you were asking me about ethnic design.
Well, yeah, like something kind of so like you got the Kwanzaa. So let me go to something that looks a little more to like. Okay, so we can get into your. Okay, so like more like, okay, so you're into African art, so it's some of your pieces may have been inspired through what you have seen or read or maybe even experienced with African culture.
Yes.
Okay.
But I also have to say that things that are African inspired don't usually sell well. And so, okay, my black Santa sells. But interestingly, more people of European descent have purchased it than of African descent. And so,
why do you think that is?
I guess I'm assuming that they have friends that they want to bless with something. Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe we're so used to seeing the white Santa to take it out of that traditional sense of what the TV is going to show, with all the people on the corner with the snow guy. Some of these malls might have the white Santa in there, and then you have a black Santa. Is it?
Yeah.
Going against the grain, I guess. Could be something like that. Let's see.
Those are banks. Those are a good seller for me.
Oh, like a penny bank or something, like a quarters. Yeah. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. That wasn't a bad idea right there too. I don't think they. I wonder, could you do? Let me see. How big is this? 10 by 10 inches.
Yeah, más o menos.
10 by 10 inches. Ooh. Well, you're really knocking it down though. I probably want to have a secondary layer though. Maybe like have this image in the front and then have the stuff that I drop in it showing towards the back, so you don't actually see, the quarters and stuff in there, but still have that front little part in there.
That kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
I mean, well, you don't want to have everybody know that your piggy bank is getting full and they start asking you for stuff to borrow.
Okay.
You don't want nobody to ask me to borrow nothing.
Start asking you for the money. You're like, man, I know it's full. Don't tell me you ain't got none. I see it.
All right.
Yep.
Oh, look at that. Oh, okay. Yeah, you look like a little charging station right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, I like that right there. Actually, that's new. That's different.
And it's good for businesses if they want to give their clients something personalized. The holidays are coming. Businesses are always looking for something for their employees or their customers or their, whatever. So that's been good. That's been a good seller. And I can also do it with sports figures, so football or basketball player or something like that.
So mine would be United Minority Business Ventures. Could you make well, I'm probably sure you pretty could because you doing all this right here. You can make these right here around here the words, and then make the United Minority and Business Ventures the letters like right across the top.
No,
No?
that is too much. That's too much. So what I could do is, if you didn't want your initial in there, I could probably pick one initial to go in the center. And then where it says Natasha, I could put the United.
Minority Business Ventures down there.
Yeah.
Like branded in there.
Right.
So what about so like this could be you right here, United. This could be like an M, minority, and then the B could be right, Ventures. If on some of these, if somebody draws it out, because I could draw too. So if I was to draw it out, could you put it in there then?
I don't think that there is enough space to connect a lot of letters. Does that make sense? So
Yes.
that's why it's just a single letter for somebody's name.
A right here. Okay. Yeah, we might have some ideas for you to try something new. Let's try it. Let's see what happens. Best ad toolboxes, cutting boards, cheese. What's this? All right. Kitchen. What did I say? Kitchen conversions.
Conversion. So it tells you how many teaspoons are in a cup or whatever you might need when you're cooking.
What's the life expansion of these? Do they dull? Once it gets scratched up, are these more like just for show and not like use or
Cutting boards. The side that is engraved is not the side that you use. You use the back side. You do need to oil them every month, every 6 weeks or so to help with the life.
Okay. Here we go. Well, you got some earrings, huh? All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is that's the African pattern, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing everything, huh? Don't let nothing slip by. You know, only thing okay, no, they're not. I can see that wasn't what it was. Little beads. Are you making these too? These little bead
No,
things?
no. That's just decoration.
Oh, and little magnets for the kitchen.
Magnets. Yep.
Okay.
So I think there should be one more thing that I really think is a good, it's called celebrations. Okay. I particularly like this because it is an opportunity to list family birthdays, anniversaries, and things like that. And so you have the months down at the bottom, and for each coin represents a person and the date. And so it can be as long, the green one, even though you can't see the coins, has probably 100 coins on it for children, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, for the lady that I made that for.
Right,
And
that is a good
I
idea.
think it's a great family keepsake that you can just keep adding to it.
I like the way this is too. It's a little like a little beach setting or something down there with the flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got me thinking of all kind of ideas for you right here. Well, yeah, I got some drawings in here, and I was looking at some of the other people that we have in here. You know, they got some good stuff, but it's always that special person who actually has the stuff, because none of the other people had them cut out. They weren't cutouts. This is cut out, so that makes it look different than all the rest. That's what is unique from what I have been seeing so far about anybody else who does woodwork. You're actually, and are you painting these yourself too?
Yes.
So these are colored. Okay, so all right, yes, fireflies and stuff. Okay, and there's probably some words right here, maybe along the side. Yeah, you got it. You got it. All right. All right. I know we've been off the beaten path a little bit for a
I
long
was going to
time.
say, are we done yet?
Talk about generational wealth. Talk about what you see in in us creating that generational wealth. And the youth, they know nothing about that. But it used to be a Black Wall Street.
I was at Black Wall Street just last week when I told you I went to Tulsa. Again, I think that we as the elders need to talk to the young people about finances. That's something that we do not talk about in our homes usually. I believe that education is extremely important. Rather, it's about finances, but also about just learning, continuing to learn and to be the best that you can be. I shared with you that, my grandfather and his siblings all went to college or trade school. And before that, his parents owned land. So we see the benefits of generational wealth in my family. And like I said, a big part of that is education.
Education on history, education on financial literacy,
All of it.
education on real estate.
All of it.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been taking a course for the past 3 years called Sacred Conversations to End Racism. And early on, we watched some videos by Henry Louis Gates about the African civilizations. It's on PBS. You can look, But I think that a lot of people, even people of color, don't recognize that we come from kings and queens. We weren't savages on the continent of Africa. We were the rulers. And I think if people could get that understanding, of the true history, it might make it easier for us, one, to feel better about ourselves, but two, to work towards helping our youth and others to understand that, we're not less than. We can't let European descent people treat us like we are less than, because we probably have a whole lot more going on than they ever did.
Okay, so how do you navigate your career path to reach your current position, and what lessons have you learned along the way to get to where you are right now? Because you got the website, you got all these things. How did you navigate to get to this far?
Slowly. Taking it one step at a time. Again, when I started out, I was doing this as a hobby, like I said, making gifts for family and friends and things like that. But then recognizing, my potential and the potential of stepping out and showing people what I can do, I think has been beneficial. I'm definitely not where I want to be. So hopefully this podcast and other things will help me to get there. But yeah, I'm hopeful that, there's more to come.
All right. Yeah, there is. Most definitely. Okay, so can you share your personal experience with skill development and continuous learning when it comes to the business and through life?
Never stop learning. I think that if we stop trying to learn new things, we just kind of shrivel up. On the internet, on YouTube, there are so many different videos about using the laser and business, the ways that you can advance your business and things like that. And so I do read, I do watch videos. I talk to people, went to a conference just last week in Tulsa, of all places, but it was on lasers. So you have to just keep learning and moving forward.
Keep learning and moving forward. That is basically all we can do. Learn from your examples of what bad may happen and try to stack on that to make sure, what do they call it, a contingency plan, for everything that might happen. So let me ask you this: when it comes to future predictions, where do you see your industry or your business heading in the next 5 or so years, and what challenges or opportunities do you foresee?
In the next 5 years, I would love to have a 6-figure income. I think that issues could be, I'll say, oversaturation of laser users, but more so with the economy and everything, the lack of appreciation for good product and the efforts and the work and the hand painting and all the things that go into what I do.
Okay. Could you do one last thing for us? Thank you for coming on the show, and I enjoyed this conversation we had. You said it was kind of standoffish about coming on, but I think you did this like a pro. You know what I mean? It's just like, riding the bike after a long time. You know what I mean? It's just, you get back on there and, just talking and conversating about yourself just becomes easy and natural. Could you give us another brief, it doesn't have to be brief, but could you give us another introduction about your business and how to reach you and any other sites that we can reach you on and any other businesses that you may have that we haven't spoken on or anything like that, or pages that we don't have listed right here and information to contact you and purchase some of your items?
I am Rachel Chapman, and I am the owner of Something Special by Rachel. It is a differently abled Black woman-owned business that I am very proud of. My website is something, SUMPTHIN SPECIAL by Rachel, RACHEL.com. I'm also on Instagram. I also have a Facebook page. You can reach me on the website. Send me an email. Send me your phone number. Let me know what you're interested in. And I'd be happy to speak with you and hopefully help you to find that something special.
Something special.
Well, I don't think anybody's gonna have. Oops, sorry about that. Had a problem with finding something special, because you're definitely a special person as far as all of the things that you've talked about, and just the way you come across as far as keeping us balanced, with our history and as far as understanding the Black woman business and the future about what you want to do, having that 6 figures, and then being able to use that to help others. I mean, it's just such a a well-rounded person that has that kind of thinking. So I'd like to ask you to talk a little bit about something that maybe we didn't talk about that you want to get out there to these people. And I think you have the knowledge and the the charisma, smile, and all of that just shines. So I want you to take the time and tell. I know there's something probably we missed. Let us know what we missed. Talk about your business in a way that you got all that stuff behind you. You got everything. You're working hard. You have you have this disability. Talk about the disabled people out there and how they're misunderstood.
I think society has decided that people with disabilities are less than. I don't believe that we are given credit for our abilities. And sadly, oftentimes, people with disabilities are looked at as being uneducated or lazy or other things that are totally not true. I won't tell you how many degrees I have. But I will say that I think that it's also important that we make space. We have to treat people the way that we want to be treated. We have to be more accepting of those that are differently abled. We also have to support each other in our Black-owned businesses. If we don't support each other, who will? And I know that the economy is tough right now. But I think that even if it's just a word of encouragement, it's, referring somebody to somebody else that might be able to use those services. I think it's all a big help rather than just walking away.
Okay, thank you.
Well, when you talk about walking away, uh, kind of want to talk about our little almost walk away. So So I'm really curious and really happy that you did choose to come on the show. I'm really hopeful that Razak and I made you comfortable enough to be able to talk about your business, and we're really thankful that some of the things that you talked about and was open about as far as your disability and some of the other things that you've talked about, and I hope that you don't um, in the future, I really, that you can come back on and do that again. So can you tell us a little bit about what the podcast, how you feel, or what did it make you feel? Did we ruin it for you? Tell us a little bit about that experience, so maybe you can help someone else that maybe had the apprehensions or maybe didn't want to come on or don't want to come
Okay, so some of this you might have to cut. I I think what sold me, Keith, is the conversation you and I had a couple days ago. You did make me feel at ease. And so I felt better about doing this, and just that kind of built up my confidence to be able to do this. Um, I think that some of the questions that Razak put me on the spot,
Mhm.
that kind of added to my apprehension. Um, but I think that it was a good experience overall. I'm looking forward to seeing the outcome, the edited version of this. I'm hoping honestly that it will help my business, that people will see me, people will know that I'm here, and people will see something that they like, and can use, whether it's a gift or whether it's for their own self.
Right.
on? Well, our job
Right.
is to get you out there. This is the whole big part of the podcast is to uplift our small business in the community. Is designed specifically to showcase you and build a network of other businesses within the podcast that you can go to and they can go to you for services, have your information. And then the other part of it is that you get to tell other people that you're on the podcast. They get to hear a little bit about you. They get to understand a little bit more about why this person is, a person I should buy from. It's because they're putting the work in and they're doing it for something that's going to benefit me, and not just in Walmart like somebody wants to say they can go get it from there. This is a direct personal touch, and we need to be able to promote that, and you definitely has spoken to that. So I really just thank you, and I'm really so excited that you did come on to the show, and we appreciate it so much, and Razak as well. So I will let him say his own words, but I thank you so much. And you know what? I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I am proud of you. Razak, go ahead.
Man, I'm just gonna say that I like the work. I think it is different, than what we've been seeing, and I think you have a unique skill set, and you were right to put it to use, and not sit on it. As a lady had said the other day, certain people have a calling, and it's not to be ignored. What I mean, it's to be explored and shared. You're definitely, even with your saying that you have a mobility problem, or your illness, or anything else that was going on in life, you still have this talent, and you said, hey, I'm still gonna pursue and get these ideas out of my brain. You're not just gonna sit on them and do the whole woe is me type of mentality. So I commend you for that. And the only thing I kind of actually already sketched out something when you was talking. I already sketched out something for you. I'm going to perfect it a little bit, and I'm going to send it over there to you. And I'm going to see if you can make this thing. Well, actually, it's going to be a big thing, but well, not too big. Probably like the size of the screen, probably like a plaque.
Hey,
You know,
he can't put it to work already, man. It's that, you try to put it to work already. You can go to the website and place an order first.
Think about, but until you change your mind